I beg. I beg for a moderate Democrat. I do. Hillary Clinton is not a moderate. Okay, this is what really bothers me. I see so many of these progressives being like, we ran a moderate. It was Hillary Clinton. She couldn't win. No, of course she couldn't win. She's awful. She's not moderate. She's a war hawk, corporatist neoliberal he's a crony capitalist who's giving speeches to Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, whose foundation is taking in hundreds of millions of dollars. That's not moderate, okay? That's crony capitalist neoliberal. That is not moderate. I want someone who is down to earth. I don't want to say populist because it's got a negative connotation in some spheres, but I want someone who understands the people, who's going to fight for the working class, who's going to protect our jobs here in America, they're going to be serious about border security. They're going to be serious about security at home. They're going to oppose foreign war. They're going to oppose massive weapon deals with foreign interests. They're going to oppose intervention in Yemen, etc. Okay? I believe that we can do more to expand healthcare. The mainstream Democrat position actually sounds pretty good to me. A public option, expanding Medicare and Medicaid. Not universal. Now, I will say I'm totally for universal healthcare. Absolutely. But I recognize I don't know how we do it. I don't know if it's possible. So I look for more moderate policy. What can we do to make sure people with pre-existing conditions, people who through no fault of their own are not being left behind? I do not want to live in a Darwinist society where only the strong can survive. I believe it's important that the strong do survive. I believe it's important that competition makes us more robust and stronger. But to a certain extent, I believe that the goal of our progress technologically and politically is to protect those who need protection, right? We advance technology to better our society, to produce more food, to make better homes. That way, we're doing everything we can to save lives. I think if we just put it there, here's what I want to do. You know what? Policy be damned. I want to save lives. I want to save lives. I want to protect the innocent. I understand a lot of people disagree on how we get there. I'm willing to talk about it. But I believe we need to be more moderate. I lean center left. That's what I want. So we got a couple stories because I'm angry, all right? This is from Pluralist, where they poke fun at Cortez for a little bit. They say, ex-Democratic senator desperately tweets poll at her party. Don't be like Ocasio-Cortez. Yes, don't, okay? Ocasio-Cortez is just a young upstart who's towing the progressive line. She doesn't know what people actually want, and she got elected through an exploit, and now the Democratic Party is trying to remove her. But can we please have someone who's willing to negotiate, who's going to say, I understand the president got elected, he doesn't get everything he wants, but we'll compromise, okay? Let's read. Former Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri tweeted a poll Sunday showing that most Democrats want their party to move toward the political center rather than leftward, asking, are any 2020 presidential candidates paying attention to this? No, they're not. Oh, because I got another article. Trust me. The poll, a survey by the Pew Research Center conducted from January 9 to 14, found that a majority of likely Democratic voters want the party to moderate rather than become more liberal. Yes, please. And then it says, by the way, this is in sharp contrast to Republican voters who largely want to see their party go more conservative. I get it. That's fine. I don't care for conservatives. I don't care for for Republicans. I'm not going to vote for a Republican. I mean, look, I'm not saying I would never. I probably wouldn't for a lot of different issues. But a moderate, like a centrist center-right Republican is better, in my opinion, than a far-left Democrat. That's something I've warned about for a long time. You have to realize moderate Democrats, moderate people on the left will not vote for far-left, ultra-progressives. If their choice is someone who's all the way over there on the far left or someone who's a little bit to the right of them, they're going to vote to the person who's close to them. Plain simple. Claire McCaskill tweeted this. Well, here's the image. 54% more moderate. Are any 2020 presidential candidates paying attention to this? No, of course not. They say McCaskill's sentiment is somewhat quaint, considering she lost her reelection bid in Missouri in November, after which she accepted a job as a professional kibitzer on NBC. Kibitzer. Her loss has been viewed, including by herself, as a result of her reluctance to join the more radical wing of her party during the pile-on hearings of now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Well, good for her for not doing that. In December, on her way out of office, McCaskill tangled with Cortez of New York, whom she dismissed as a bright and shiny new object and deemed part of the Democrats' problem. I agree. Given the current mood of the Democratic Party, where Ocasio-Cortez is hailed as a kingmaker, McCaskill's admonition seems likely to be taken as the butt of a joke rather than sage advice. Sean T. Collins tweeted, Hi, Senator. Just curious, did any 2018 senatorial candidates from the great state of Missouri pay attention to this? And how did it work out for them? Look, I don't care about Missouri. I care about the country. And there's a lot of people on the left. Listen, when Trump stood up at the State of the Union and said this country will never be a socialist country, Democrats were clapping. Some weren't, like Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders weren't. But here's the best part. Because, of course, Democratic 2020 contenders swing left in a return to party's FDR roots. Okay, let me just say this. You want me to vote for you? Not if that's the case. This is one of my big problems. You know, people, there's like some people are like making like, you know, smear. People make hit pieces about me all the time, whatever, I don't care. But they claim like I'm a fake leftist. Is that a joke? I just don't want to see this. I'm one of those 54% who want to see more moderate policy, okay? I believe we need education reform. I believe we need healthcare reform. I believe we need to weed the corruption out of politics. I believe we need campaign finance reform. I believe we need prison reform. I am pro-choice for the love of God. Where is my candidate? That's the problem, right? A flurry of proposals to slap new taxes on the ultra-wealthy, extend Medicare to all, and make college debt-free reflect a rapidly changing Democratic Party that sees a sharp left turn as the path to defeating President Donald Trump. No. You know, you promise people all the goodies in the world, and yeah, sure, they'll vote for you. And that's insane to me. It's insane to me that we live in a country where politicians can offer pie in the sky, knowing full well it's not possible or probably wouldn't work. Doesn't matter. If I go to someone and say, I will give you $100, you know, to vote for somebody, that's wrong, right? What if I said, how about if you vote for me, I promise to take taxpayer money and deposit in your bank account? What's the difference? What's the difference, okay? We just saw Cuomo talk about a $2.3 billion tax fall off in New York State. And he actually said, God forbid if the wealthy leave. Yes, because rich people are leaving New York City and New York State. I left New York. I don't want to act like I'm like one of the wealthy people he's talking about. He's talking about billionaires and millionaires and things like that. But I certainly left. And a lot of people are leaving. It's too damn expensive. It's expensive and they got really high taxes. So I left. I went to Jersey. Jersey's cheaper. Some of the party's top 2020 presidential hopefuls are wading into uncharted political waters in an effort to demonstrate their commitment to mitigating income inequality. But where party activists see an opportunity to excite voters, some veterans of past campaigns and moderate Democrats warn that the party wins elections not by indulging in most liberal impulses, but by hewing to the political center. And Trump has made clear he's ready to use the leftward tilt by Democrats as a wedge issue in 2020. Look at Kamala Harris. She talked about Medicare for all and then walked it back. Right, because, listen, there's a lot of people on the left who want the government to take care of them. You see these videos where they ask people, like, should the government, how should we handle healthcare? They say, oh, the government should pay for it. Well, the government doesn't pay for anything, okay? The government just takes tax money from you and you pay for it. Like, just because you're claiming the government should pay for it doesn't mean the money comes from nowhere. No, what you're really saying is you will pay for it too, okay? Now, I'm fine. I'm fine with it if a bunch of progressive wealthy people claim that. Like, oh, I get it. You're the one who's going to eat those taxes, sure, for the most part. But the idea that the government can just do it, no, it's still being paid for. You just want the government to control the flow and exchange of money. I have no problem. Like, a lot of people act like someone sent me a message saying government is the cause of all problems. That's just plain not true. The government causes a lot of problems. That is true. It doesn't mean government doesn't work. It just means our current system needs to be weeded out. The corruption needs to be stripped out from it. We need to reform things. And that's really difficult to do. Sometimes maybe you need to just wipe it out, just end it, and then build a new one. But I certainly believe there is a role for the government in education and healthcare and things like that, right? It's just that our current system is becoming bloated, and and what we're doing is you've got the system where you keep putting Band-Aids on top, and you've literally got someone got a cut on their arm, and you got 50 Band-Aids stacked on top, and it's like, dude, at some point you got to pull that festering garbage off of your arm. It's like, think about it that way, right? If all you do is you keep slapping more Band-Aids on top of each other, it's going to get infected and start festering, and it will corrupt and destroy. Remove it. But some Band-Aids are good. Like, government can be good. The problem is we've got a bloated and corrupt system in a lot of ways that needs to be fixed. That doesn't mean we throw the whole thing out. It means the far left, what they're saying now is You know, they're saying the wound we have with the bandages on it is becoming gangrenous, so let's wrap more bandages around it. It's like, whoa, 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 that actually will make it worse. How about we take the bandages off, clean it, and put new bandages on, right? Does that analogy work? I think the analogy works. I get so many people messaging me saying things that I'm like, when will you admit you're conservative? And I was like, when a Republican runs on a progressive tax and creating a public option for healthcare and expanding Medicare, like, dude, my positions are squarely on the left. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing that the party is swinging to, look, we know what happens when you tax the ultra wealthy. You can't do this because the state of capital has changed. People can easily flee. Andrew Cuomo just said, God forbid if they leave. Extend Medicare to all Americans. I'm down. I'm totally down. How do we pay for it? No, for real. You figure how we pay for it? No new taxes, or I'm even okay with some new taxes for sure. But you figure out how we pay for it, because I don't think we can, and that's the problem. But I am willing to vote for someone who wants to try and put forth a deal and work the numbers. I do, because I do like the idea. I would say I am absolutely for universal healthcare, 100%. I just don't know if it can be done. That's one of the big issues. I also am concerned about innovation and things like that. College debt free. Why? College isn't the only path to success. We need to encourage people to take on trades and get educated in other ways. So many people want to go to college and get a studies degree. What are you going to do? You're going to be a philosophy, art major. Like, what are you going to do with that? Okay. People need to realize there is integrity and honor in being a carpenter, a contractor, a plumber, a mechanic. There are other jobs you can do and make good money, an electrician. But for all these young people are being told you got to go to college. So now they want the government to tax everybody to pay for college. Come on, man. You know what? I'm not that far left. I'm not. And I would say I'm pretty further left than even a lot of Democrats. But I think we need to be moderate and rational about how we pull this stuff off. I don't want to keep rambling. Stick around. I got more videos coming up. Main channel at 4 p.m., youtube.com/Timcast. And I got more videos on this channel starting at 6 p.m. I will see you then.